Hello, everybody. I'm Roadblock, and we are back on the free to play. It's fusion time, right? So I talked about today. We're going to look over the calendar, right? Let's get right down to it. And then I think I said I was going to do some masteries on some champions. So we'll knock all that out here in a second. Um, if I, yeah, no, I have the masteries ready to go on them. All right, so here we are. We are looking at the fragment calendar. So I'm not doing anything tonight. Okay. And I want to explain why. So it's Thursday at the time of this recording. Friday, everything will double dip into the into the Dungeon Divers event. So you get points, obviously, from doing Fire Night, but you also get points from doing champion training. So if you wait until Friday or Saturday or even Sunday to do the champion training, you're going to get points from it for Dungeon Divers, which will help. You won't have to do as much overkill. Also, notice that the Spider tournament should overlap with this first Dungeon Divers a little bit as well. So you should be able to double dip there a little bit. Be mindful of your let's go slow here. So Friday, Dungeon Divers, Fire Night, and Champion Training all going on at the same time. So I'll be doing a lot of that tomorrow while I'm just playing the game and doing whatever. I may have said that I'm streaming tomorrow. I don't think that's going to happen. Mostly because of the fusion going on and how limited my time is over the next several days. Because I work Friday, I work Saturday. When I get home, it'll be WrestleMania Saturday, right? So I'm just gonna go right into that. I'll have raid up while I'm watching, but I suspect that's probably gonna go into 11 maybe midnight, right? Who knows? So when that's over, then I got to record, and I'm just gonna be very busy the next couple days. I don't see me having time to squeeze in streaming, and I feel really bad. I'm not trying to pass the buck on it. My next day off, I believe, is Thursday. I will get that figured out and get it locked in for you guys and get going on it. What I really want to do though is have like a big celebratory 1,000 subscribers stream. That's what I want to do. Um with a ton of community involvement, like whatever you guys want me to do, we'll do, right? So that's where I want to go with it. But I don't think that the stream I'm wanting to do next week is going to line up with that 1,000 subscribers. I don't think we're going to get to that 1,000 between now and then. I would love to. I just don't know that we will. The pace seems to have slowed here. However, since I'll be pulling shards, we'll be having shard videos coming out. Those usually bump up my subscriber count pretty good. So we'll see if anything comes from that. But let's get back to here and talk about what we're doing. So tomorrow, Fire Night, Champion Training. I'll probably set up Fire Night. The other big weakness that I'm having right now is RSL helpers down. Which means I can only run one account at a time, and that is really hurting me and my ability to do this fusion across both accounts. Now the good news is that it should go pretty quick on the main account for both of these. So I should be able to knock those out, but I can't bounce back and forth between the two accounts like I would like to. So yeah, that's the plan there. So for Saturday, classic arena takedown starts. The arena takedowns, unless they've changed them, are pretty simple. Do them the way that you just play the game, and you should, as long as you're using 10 keys a day, you'll pretty much get the arena done. You may have to use a few extra keys on that final day, but for the most part, that's been getting it done for me. Artifact enhancement, 3 artifact enhancements, nothing new there. Oh, this is the big, really interesting thing for me. Now I am not saying that I'm right, okay? But in my experience, it feels like most of the time we end on a champion chase. We don't start one. I'm sure we have in the past. I've only been playing the game for about 2 years or so now, maybe more. So I can completely be wrong about this, but it doesn't feel like I don't remember one where we started with a champion chase. And I am pumped about starting with a champion chase. And we're going to look at the breakdown of the points here in a second, but I want to look at the calendar first. So it's going to be a 2 times Ancients and a times 15 on, or is it a time? Yeah, a 15x, so a progressive chance. Or is it not progressive? Yeah, it is a progressive. Okay, so we're getting a progressive chance for Newt. Yes, please, for the free to play. Even on the main account, I suppose, but I have 2 already. Kyoku, another yes, please, which I can only pick 1, so Newt probably over Kyoku. Sissia, Flame Tongue, and Contra the Cyclone. I kind of want Contra, I think, on the main account because I have Newt and Kyoku, and do I have Sissia? I don't. I may have to think about possibly Sissia. I gotta look at her kit. As far as the epics go, I would just have to look at whatever epic I would need for any fusions, if there are any. But I don't think any of these epics are ones that would change my account currently. As far as voids, Leorius. Ooh. That's really tempting for my main account. Man, RSL Helper needs to come back up because I don't remember if I popped my Mercy on when I was pulling for what's his name? Terrace. I can't remember if I popped my Mercy or if I just struck out. Because if I'm high on Mercy and I can go for Leorius, I will. Because he will really help complete a lot of my the kind of concepts that I'm going for. So that's interesting. Okay. Anyways, that's for the main account. I won't be pulling any voids for this event. And then we've got Skrank and Skullcrown again from Void, so I won't be pulling those. So what I'd be pulling would just be all my Ancients, regardless of the Champion Chase. And then whatever points I need after pulling all my Ancients, I will get from the fragments that I have saved up and to complete this event. And get the fragments I need. So what I mean by is I would pull like my fragment champions that I have saved up, right? If we remember, I've got 3 of them now ready to be summoned. Yukara would be the one that I would pull in order to get the points for that. And then probably Yannicka, and then probably Drexstar. Now that I have Mordecai, Drexstar's value for me comes down a little bit. And again, please understand that this is always for me. I feel like I'll make a comment about a champion and then I'm not upset. I love seeing your comments and I love for people to tell me, "Hey, you're sleeping on this guy," or "I think you're missing out on this guy." I want that information, right? Because other content creators I see all the time when they're like, "You guys told me and you were right," that kind of thing, right? I love it when you guys let me know, but for me, I think Yakarl is the top tier for this account. In fact, I kind of really want to pull him because he's void and he can hit really hard. Like, he can be a good nuker in arena, and then you get all the other benefits of him. He could be my replacement for Kale, and I don't have to worry about affinity. So if I do go up against an affinity where Sun Wukong doesn't smack, Yakarl can follow him up and smack. So I really do want to get and build Yakarl for this account. but I'm being patient with him and waiting until I can double dip off of him. So in this particular case with the champion chase, I'll probably I may need to pull him. I only have 40. Oh, I have 51 ancients. That's a lot more than I kind of thought I had. But so I'll have 51 ancients going into this event. So yeah, I'm kind of intrigued by that. How long? I just wanted to look at how long this soul tournament. It's today. Okay, I'll have to complete that on the other account. All right, so let's go back to the calendar now. So I like this champion chase tournament at being to start, and we'll be able to complete it. I'll be pulling shards anyways. I think I'm high-ish on mercy, and we're gonna have the 2x, right? So with 51 ancients, I feel pretty, and I think my mercy's high. I can't check right now. I feel pretty confident that we might be able to walk out of there with a legendary, right? So that could be really fun. And I've got a 15%, 15x, not percent, 15x chance at that legendary being a newt, which would, I mean, it's insane if I could get a newt on this account. I mean, that would be the final straw for this account. I would have everything I need at that point, other than like a really strong cleanser. But I could just do I want to say apothecary, and I know I'm wrong. Reliquary tender. I was picturing reliquary tender, but I couldn't get the name apothecary out of my head. Okay. Again, I already mentioned this. So the spider tournament, you kind of want to do this with this Dungeon Divers, but keep in mind you also want to do it with this Dungeon Divers. So, if you are able to finish the Dungeon Divers, if you do a ton of champion training and Fire Knight, and you're able to complete this, right, then you can save your spider and do it on Monday in accordance with this Dungeon Divers event right here. And then finish this one off with Dragon on Wednesday. And then we have so this dungeon. Ooh, yeah, no. Okay, we're good. So Dungeon Divers 3 will then also be a combination of Ice Golem on Saturday and Champion Training on Saturday to complete Dungeon Divers 3. The good news is both of those kind of end in the middle of Dungeon Divers 3, so you should be fine there. And then there's a Summon Rush. We'll talk about that in a second. And then the last artifact enhancement. So let's assume I have to do everything other than the champion chases and the Summon Rush. Well, first, let's take a look at the fragment situation. So there's 130 fragments total. Let's assume I do not win either tournament and get the extra 20. So there's 110 fragments available, which means I can skip 10 fragments on this board. While the Summon Rush has 15. I could be wrong, but I feel like past Summon Rushes have had like a 5 and then a 10 or something like that. So there's a chance that this Summon Rush maybe I don't have to pull as many shards for. But I'll say this. There seems to be fewer people interested in this fusion than others. So there's a possibility that I could take one of these tournaments. With the Summon Rush being 15 pieces and me only having 10 to spare is a little concerning. And I could get to the very end and fall short by 5 by 5 fragments. Absolutely. That is a scenario that could happen based on everything laid out here. Um, because I would have to win one of the tournaments. But either way, I can't skip either of them. They're both 15 points, right? So in order to skip and get it does look like I have to do the summon rush. And to be honest, they're kind of man, they're kind of getting me with this. Putting the summon rush is kind of better for Plarium because it gets me into it, right? It gets me I want to pull shards here at the beginning. I don't always want to pull shards at the beginning with the summon rush, so then I don't do the fusion. Um Here I want to pull shards, so I'm going to pull them in the beginning, and I could get all the way to the end with the summon rush and find out like, yeah, no, it's all 15 points are at the end of the summon rush. You have to pull all of your shards. So this does change my strategy a little bit. Everything seems achievable here except for the summon rush. That seems concerning to me, but I only need 5 fragments from the summon rush to complete everything. So keeping that in mind, what I think I'm going to do, obviously if I can win one of these tournaments, great. But there's no guarantees. The big key is on Sunday night to pay very, very close attention, probably to the champion chase. If I think I can win it, like if I'm talking like waiting until the last hour, and I mean I know how many points because I have 3 legendaries waiting, right? If I know how many points I need, and I look at the tally and it says, "Oh yeah, you're short by 500 points," and pulling that legendary over there is 500 points. Maybe I pull an extra legendary from the fragments and put myself in first place and take those 10 extra points. And then I don't have to worry about it. I am done. I can skip the summon rush entirely, right? So that's plan A. I don't think I'd be in the running for a champion training tournament win. But champion chase, I could steal one. I have a free legendary to pop at the end. Potentially. Assuming that I don't need to pop any of them if I'm able to get enough epics and legendaries from the ancient shards that I'm going to pull during this event. So all of this is, up in the air. Let's say that doesn't happen and um, we end up at the summon rush. Well, then we just have to hope that there's 5 points up for grabs there. But if I want to guarantee this fusion, then I may have to pop a few extra summons than what I would like to do for the champion chase. We'll see, right? But that's my game plan. I will likely pull all of my shards tomorrow just to get it out of the way. And when I say all of, I mean, well, sorry, that was the other part. So that's plan A, which also coincides kind of with plan B. Plan B is to pull only as many ancients as I need to complete the champion chase and get all the points or to get all the fragments on Friday. But then on Sunday, I will pay very close attention to my point values within the tournament and see if I can steal a win or not. If that right. So I'm not going to spend all of my ancients right away. Even though I want to, I have to be a little tactical here and maybe do a second summon pull on Sunday, because if I can't win the tournament, I want to make sure I have those extra ancient shards to pull during the summon rush. But I don't think they're going to be enough. And if I was a free-to-play player and I got all the way to the end and had 5 fragments to go and they offer me $10 for those 5 fragments, Like, if I was just somebody that doesn't want to spend money in the game, but that happens to me, I would probably buy those fragments. But as somebody who is very strictly free to play, it forces me into this summon rush. So, um, I cannot skip the summon rush. And I told you guys, if I have to do a summon rush, I won't do the event. But they flipped it. And that locks me in because I want to pull shards for this. And so since I want to pull shards here, I want to get these fragments. It really kind of locks me in. So this champion chase is really, really important, and I need to pay as close attention to it as I can, in order to maximize my opportunity to get the champion. Everything else seems fine. We have at least 2 tournaments going on during any given dungeon divers. That's a good sign. Um, on top of having the champion trainings overlap with them as well. So I don't feel like any of the dungeon divers are out of reach. And then the artifact enhancements, I have enough silver. I have stockpiles of silver in different areas of the game. I'll acquire a lot of silver as we move through this by doing these tournaments and these champion trainings. So yeah, I'm very confident about the fusion. So excited to do it, excited to do back-to-back fusions, and see where we end up. Okay. I am going to do something very quickly while we're talking. Of course it is. Okay. Um, sorry, I need to be doing this stuff because I want to make sure I don't miss on the fusion warm-up event because I'm so close on that event, and there's an ancient shard on the line there that is, as we just discussed, a very important part of this. So I want to make sure that I'm leveling these champions and everything. So I had to make sure I had XP boost. So that's the plan for the fusion. After I finish these 3 runs and making sure that I'm getting those points for that event, I will take a look at those masteries that we were talking about. I really think I need to build a reliquary tender on this account. Other effects, positive effects, remove debuffs. There's the mini one from Ugo, but reliquary tenders is more consistent. Oh yes, Spirit Host. What is hers? Is it 1? It's all debuffs, yeah, and then followed by a block debuffs on a 4-5 turn cooldown. Reliquary is a 3 turn, right? Yeah, when booked, 3 turn cooldown. Yeah, so reliquaries is still just better. So if we're just talking cleansers, I would go reliquary. But and technically, no, she only extends buffs and then decreases buffs. Yeah, decreases buffs on the enemy. That's right. Okay. Well, what I want to put is a 4-star, but none of them are leveled, and we're not doing champion training event yet. So let's just throw another 2-star in there. Okay. Yeah, I just want to. Oh, I forgot I was trying to do. Whatever. I'll come back and do it later. I'm afraid that I'm gonna forget to do some stuff later because I got burned the other night, and so that's kind of why I'm like, I gotta do this on camera. hopefully RSL helper comes back pretty quick. It's usually within like a day or two. Um, this update is not a big update, but it did make a lot of changes. I'm actually a little disappointed in the update because I thought they were going to make Queen Eva stronger than they did. And I was really hoping that she would be my replacement for Hefrak. Hefrak's amazing. He hits hard. He's in my speed team. Unfortunately, I'm really getting stomped on. Like that's my weakest team in tag team arena is my go first team, my arbiter team. So I need to find another way to make that team work. And I misread her kit, which also hurt. Her update I thought was going to make her A2 and AOE as well, and instead it's just a another. It's still a single target. It just ignores defense now. Um, but it had block revive. So I thought she was going to have an AoE block revive, which was foolish of me to think. So, because there aren't that many champions that have that, right? Other than like obviously Foley. So who I would love to get. If I got Foley, he would probably actually replace Hefrak on my main account as my nuker. But anyways, enough about that. We'll talk about the main account. I'll probably record on the main account after this. It's a little harder to kind of bounce around right now because I don't have RSL helper. So, that's the game plan for that. Let's talk masteries real quick. I haven't really given much. I didn't research them like I said I would. Um, but let's kind of talk about masteries just a little bit. A lot of people are going to do similar to what I'm doing here, right? Which is go to Hell Hades and pick your masteries. But what I want you to really do is to take a look at kind of what you're doing, but also know what your account is all about and what you need. Um so what they have for clan boss is to go defense tree. Oh, I didn't finish from. Oh, that's right. I didn't get a chance to finish Godseeker's Masteries. I remember now. But we can do Cold Hearts, who's I know that I want to do. Sorry, I'm building so many champions, most of them being Cold Hearts, on multiple accounts right now that I'm a little confused. Okay. So the question becomes, where do I want to use Cold Heart? The biggest improvement for me on this account regarding Cold Heart is going to be Spider, because I want the turn meter control and I want the big nuke. So that's kind of what I'm looking for out of masteries. Is big nuke against bosses. But I think I want to go. So what I've done in the past for champions that do enemy max HP is go flawless execution as the final one to give myself that extra 20% crit damage, because you're going to get that crit damage out of their HP percent damage. But there's a limit on the amount of damage that you can do, which can cause issues with flawless execution. So then you can consider War Master maybe, right? Or in her case, it would, because she's a quadruple hitter, you would consider Giant Slayer. Um, there's also some consideration for Helm Smasher. So when you use that big nuke, that it could ignore defense, but it's only a 50% chance of ignoring ignoring 20 for skills that ignore defense. This 20 isn't a yeah. So again, you only get a 50% chance that you would ignore defense, which will make that do more damage, right? So I'm a little torn. The builds are very similar. The only difference is going for um, Helm Smasher or Flawless Execution. Um, but Giant Slayer is a consideration. Wait, I thought I had scrolls on her. Am I just blurring all of my accounts together? Is that what's going on right now? It is. That's what's going on. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so disconnected right now between all my accounts. So here I am talking about all these things for Cold Heart, and it's gonna be Seer that we're building. But a lot of what I talked about kind of is similar. While hers it's technically enemy max HP, but it's based on buffs, not really their HP. But um, let's see. Definitely want the extra crit damage. Yes. So they've got for each enemy killed by this champion, sacks across each round. Yeah, see, I don't with those won't be good. Is the thing. Yeah, and you want the first hit. Yeah, this is I see where they're kind of going with this. 5% for each dead ally. I don't see that one taking effect too much. 30% chance of issuing a random skill by one turn. Exceeds 30% of the target's max HP. So what is this? Bring it down. Increase damage inflicted by when attacking targets with... Ah, okay, yeah. Yeah. I think I actually want to do Cycle of Violence and Opportunist. And so let me explain why. So here we have increases damage inflicted by 5% for each dead ally, stacks up to 10%. I'm not going to be having dead allies that much on my wave clear teams. I am going to have a consistent stun with Armands, which means that Seer's going to do more damage on my wave clear teams because I'll be doing damage to stunned enemies. Her damage will also exceed 30% of target's max HP quite often, and reducing her cooldowns is part of the problem. I don't have a lot of cooldown reduction on this account. Actually, I don't have any, right? So I'm kind of thinking these two talents are still worth it. And I said talents, I mean masteries. This one I don't think is going to take effect. Bring it down is very good. Increases damage by 6% when attacking targets with higher max HP, but I can keep them stunned pretty consistently. So I'm actually going to go with these two, given the combinations that I have available to me. Kill streak. Each enemy killed in battle stacks across each round in battle. Yeah, kill streak's amazing. We definitely want to go with kill streak. I'm not worried about blood shield. And theoretically, I want to be doing damage to them before I have any debuffs on me. And I mean, since I don't have any cooldown refreshing, I will be using her A1. I'd like for it to hit a little bit harder. So now comes the question, do I go War Master? Do I go Helm Smasher? Or do I go Flawless Execution? I'm thinking Helm Smasher. And I want to explain why. Seer is going to be doing double duty for me as a nuker in Tag Team Arena. She's not going to be doing damage on bosses very often. In fact, all of my teams are at stage 20 farmable without any extra wave clear stuff. And I don't think I need her to do wave clear on boss fights as much as I want her to be wave clear in Doom Tower. And so I think being able to ignore the defense of those really high level champions will be a little bit more valuable to me than War Master. So I am going to go Helm Smasher based on all those reasons. That could be a mistake. I could be wrong. I have a free reroll at some point, so I'm not worried about that. This tree is going to be pretty standard. We're going to want to go accuracy because I need accuracy to remove buffs. Therefore, I need her to have accuracy to do damage. So we definitely want to make sure we've got accuracy on her as much as possible. Decreases target turn meter when this champion hits some of the default skill for the first time. Decreases the turn meter by 20%. What's that? So, extend the duration of any... It doesn't even make sense to go for Master Hexer. Because it doesn't extend sleep. What am I missing? 30% chance to extend the duration of any debuff cast by this champion. The only thing she casts is sleep. I'm kind of leaning towards Lore of Steel here to get the increasing of set bonuses. I don't think the small amount of turn meter reduction is going to have any impact on her ability. Like, I'm not worried about turn meter reduction when we have Armands, right? So I'm trying to think, you know, in those terms. But I would love to see her get more stats to do damage with. So, 5% chance of decreasing cooldown. I actually do like Cycle of Magic. It may, like, her consistency is... I'm not going to be mad if she does more, right? I'm not going to be mad if she just happens to kill things faster. So, Yeah, because we're pretty much going to be playing the lockdown game with our Mons. When it comes to wave clear, we're going to lock teams down with our Mons, and then Seer's going to nuke them. And we're just going to be waiting for Seer's cooldown to come back up because I don't have cooldown reduction. So I think I'm going to go Cycle of Magic here, which is a little crazy to think of, you know, right? I probably would like Lord of Steel a little bit better. I'm not saying Evil Eye's a bad. It's not bad, but I have other champions doing that. I just don't think I need it. So I'm gonna go. It's only a 5. Yeah, okay. It's only a 5% chance. We're gonna go Lord of Steel. Um. Oh, she has weakened. All right, done. I forgot. I. She, yeah, I totally forgot she had a weaken in her kit. Not gonna lie, I thought she just gave herself the buff. So okay, we're definitely gonna go. I see why they go Master Hexer, but we can go that anyways. I don't lose anything by making the change I did, but this will extend potentially the weekend that she places. So boom, because these other ones aren't valuable. I don't expect anyone to die, and she doesn't need sniper for anything. So there we go. So those are my masteries for Seer. I haven't gotten the masteries yet for Cold Heart. I do have masteries for Arbiter, but really it's just all speed. And I'm already at a 40-minute video, which is way too long for what I expected to be just a non-video almost of me just talking about the fusion. So cool. Hey, I did it. We put masteries on Seer. I don't know why I thought I was doing Cold Heart. I think I'm starting to get the two accounts mixed up very badly. But yeah. Hey, I am going to take the time to shout out to you guys about subscribing. Please consider subscribing. I am making a push to 1,000 subscribers. I know you guys have heard this a bunch, and I'm sorry to keep hounding you about it, but we're so close. And anytime I light up and don't, or lighten up and I don't talk about subscribing, then no one clicks the button. In fact, I lose subscribers sometimes. So, if you are new here, please consider subscribing. It's a big help to me. And if you've been here for a while and you're trying to wait for that opportunity to click subscribe and maybe you've missed the last couple of videos, now would be the perfect time to do it. We are oh so close to that magic number of 1,000. Once we hit that, I'll give you guys a break. I'll give you guys, I mean, I'll say at least a week, but at most a month, somewhere in that time, in that frame, I'll give you guys a break without the harassing about subscriptions. So please consider subscribing. That's all I can ask. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all the support. I love you guys, and I will see you on the next video.